I want to welcome you to our CM1 Project update. It's been nearly 2 years since we gathered a group of CM1s to look at how we might standardize and streamline our work. Since then, we've covered a lot of ground, and it's easy to get a little lost about where we've been and how we got where we are. Before you hear some updates about the work going on, let me recap the background and history of our efforts. Back in June of 2011, our initial focus was to study the eligibility intake process variations to see if we could arrive at one best practice to implement across the county. After flowcharting the sudden service approach and appointment models and discussing their pros and cons, we felt a 3-month study was necessary in order to collect solid data to focus our efforts. Unfortunately, when we regrouped the following January, it was clear that our data collection had been insufficient. Phase 2A saw us running a second 3-month study. This data was more accurate and provided several insights into our current work practices and levels of client service. After much discussion, the steering committee recommended that branches be allowed the freedom to choose their preferred work approach as long as specific standards were met. Concurrently, we launched Phase 2B, which consisted of interviews with the CM1 supervisors, focus groups with CM1s at each branch, and job observations of 15 employees. This study resulted in many significant findings, which were then shared with the long-term care management team as well as with our employees. These findings helped us identify a dozen or so solutions. So 9 months ago, we began Phase 3, the solutions creation and implementation phase. Our initial focus last summer was on implementing one of the initial solutions to address workload reduction, the new recertification process. This was rolled out September through December. As the fall progressed, we realized that at our current rate, it would be years to address all of our solutions, so we decided late last fall to break into sub-teams, each focusing on different areas. We've formed sub-teams around process improvement, around metrics and standards, around performance management, around time management, and how we can do better training and orientation. The purpose of this update is to allow you to hear from each of our sub-teams so that you can get a sense for what each of them are working on.
Hi, I'm Katie Fudim. The Process Improvement Sub-Team has been around longer than any of the others. It began last year when we overhauled the recertification process. Our focus is to review complex processes and to draft streamlined approaches that improve customer service and reduce CM1 workload. Currently, the group consists of 5 CM1s, a policy analyst, and a supervisor who acts as a facilitator for the group. The Process Improvement Team has drafted and completed work on the recertification process last September. The process was rolled out and is currently being used across the county. We just completed work on the SNAP medical deduction process, so expect to hear more about that soon. Over the next few months, we plan to complete work on PMDDT, intake, and closure procedures.
Hi, I'm Tina Adams, and I am a member of the CM1 Standards and Metrics Work Group. Other members have included Vanessa Taylor, Veronica Wright, Marina Kalina, Tanya Bear, and Joe Easton. We have been working on a lot of standards and metrics to help make our jobs a little bit easier to do. Recently, we've implemented the standards around walk-in intakes so that we can measure the timeliness and equity of our service. Soon you'll be seeing new standards regarding workload equity, overdue medical reviews, response time for phone calls, and how many cases we're actually getting processed by the 15th. These are all things we're already doing. We just want to make sure we have them clearly defined. Our future focus is going to be on the processing timeframes for all other referrals to standardize them across the county. Hopefully these standards and metrics will help us all know how well we are doing our job.
The Orientation and Training Sub-Team includes Karen Rigmaiden, Kim Welsh, Sarah Bristol, Jacqueline Lopez, Amy Ledford, and Karen On. Our focus has been in two key areas: how to better train our CM1s and what performance support or job aids will help us be able to do the job accurately and efficiently. To ensure that we have better orientation as well as ongoing training for our CM1s, we have inventoried all the available trainings from the county and state, identified those that we feel should be mandatory, and suggested a timeline for completing them. We've also identified new employee orientation activities that have proven to be helpful, and all of these things have been added to the CM1 training checklist and timeline. We've worked to develop or enhance tools that will provide ongoing performance support or help in the moment for things that we cannot retain by memory or do infrequently. We've pulled together and in some cases created job aids which are part of our new quick guide. The page shown here is one sample from this resource. And the desk manual has been completely overhauled, restructured, and enhanced. Many of these new tools will be rolled out in an upcoming time management training.
Hi, I'm Garth Maxim, a member of the Performance Management Subgroup, along with members Joe Easton, Sarah Bristol, Marina Kalina, Vinette Kennedy-Scott, and Carolyn Edgett. Our goal with the group was to enable supervisors and managers to maximize or enhance performance of the CM1s for whom they are responsible. In a nutshell, the question was, how do we support our CM1s to do the very best work? As part of this process, we surveyed the CM1 supervisors in order to identify tools and ways that supervisors can help us. And then from there, we developed a supervisory training series that begins in April and will continue into the summer. For that series, there will be facilitated discussions in which the supervisors will explore difficult issues and challenges, and they'll be introduced to performance support and employee development tools. Along the way, they will develop accountability and support among themselves. So, look for your new and improved supervisor soon as they help us bench press our way to success.
My name is Vanessa Toll, and I am part of the Time Management Subgroup, along with Vanessa Taylor, Katie Fundum, and Sherry Devlin, our policy analyst. We all know this job is hard to handle. Being efficient is essential to the survival with our ever-growing caseloads. Our team has been looking at ways that we can manage this work and our time in order to do the job with the resources we have. Last year, in our focus groups, you all provided many tips on how to better manage our time in this job. We've created a list of time wasters and time-saving tips. Many of these will be included in the new quick guide that we are developing. We're designing a one-day training workshop which will be rolled out in May for all CM1s and their supervisors. We will also be sharing time management tips via Sherry's monthly newsletter.
This quick update from each of our CM1 workload reduction sub-teams should provide a summary of what we've been working on. And I really hope that it gives you a sense that real help is on the way to make your job more manageable. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen.